Welcome back to the Winning Edge Coach podcast, where we break down the science-backed tools to unlock your potential and give you a real edge in work, sport, and life. I'm your host, Kev Oakley. In this shorter Wednesday episode of the podcast, we're tackling a topic that exploded in popularity, then got heavily criticised, but still refuses to disappear. And that's power posing. Can standing like a superhero for 2 minutes actually change your confidence, your performance, even your biology? Or is it just another overhyped self-development myth? In this episode, I want to cut through the noise. You'll get the science, what works, and most importantly, how you can use this in a practical, no-nonsense way to improve your confidence immediately. Let's get into today's episode. Power posing first gained traction in around 2010 with a bold claim. Adopt an expansive, dominant body position for 2 minutes and you could increase your testosterone level, lower cholesterol, and boost confidence. Simple, fast, powerful. Of course, naturally, this went viral, but then came the replication studies, because with any study, always be dubious that if it can't be replicated, you've got to question the science and the actual study. And that's when things shifted. Future researchers struggled to reproduce the hormonal changes. And over time, even one of the original authors publicly questioned the strength of those biological claims. So where are we today? What is the current thinking on power posing? Here's what we know so far. Power posing does not reliably change your hormones, but it can influence how you feel and how you show up. And that distinction matters because in important performance environments, whether that's a football pitch, a boardroom, or a difficult conversation, perception often drives outcome. Now, let's add another layer to this. Let's look at it from an evolutionary standpoint. Across the animal kingdom, posture is communication. A silverback gorilla expands its chest. A bird spreads its wings. A dominant athlete walks slower, taller, more expansive, more controlled. These are not random signals. They're signals. And humans are no different. We're evolutionary animals. At one time, again, the same rules would have applied. The expansive pose would have been a sign of dominance. We're wired to read body language instantly. Have you ever walked into a room and noticed something or someone just doesn't feel right? That's your unconscious mind, the unthinking part of you, reading and picking up on body language signals. And crucially, we also feel our own body language. How we hold ourselves actually influences how we feel. So when you open up your posture, shoulders back, chest up, taking up space, you're not just sending out signals outwards, you're reinforcing a signal inwards. You're almost convincing yourself or giving yourself that feeling of being dominant. It's not, I'm powerful because my hormones changed, but more like I'm powerful because I'm behaving like someone in control. And that feedback loop is where the real value sits. Remember the mind-body connection. The mind influences the body influences the mind. Okay, let's look at what's evidence-based or evidence-backed and what's usable. First, there's self-perception. When you adopt that more expansive posture, people consistently report feeling more confident and more capable. Second, behavioral priming. As I said earlier, your body influences your mindset. If you move like somebody who's uncertain, your brain will follow. If you move with intent, presence, your brain aligns with that too. And thirdly, this is the big one most people miss. Avoiding low power postures is just as important as using high power poses. Slouching, looking down, closing yourself off, making yourself small. Those positions reinforce hesitation, doubt, and passivity. If you've ever been in a high pressure situation where it's not going well, or you've observed somebody, you'll often see that they'll make themselves look smaller. They'll start to slouch. They'll start to pull themselves in, making their body smaller, almost that defensive posture. So instead of obsessing over power posing, think of it as eliminating weak signals and reinforcing strong ones. Now, let's make this actionable, because the key part of this podcast is to give you tools and tactics you can take away and use. Before any high stakes moment, interview, presentation, big meeting, step away, reset your posture. Feet grounded, shoulders back, chin neutral, or even from personal experience, chin a little bit elevated above the norm. Slow the breathing and become as expansive as you possibly can. You don't need exaggerated superhero poses. You need controlled, composed presence, making yourself up straight, expansive as you possibly can. If you want to take it to the next level and use the superhero poses, find somewhere even more secluded. If that one works for you, find somewhere quiet, out of the way, and use the power poses. And the important thing is think calm, authority, match the thoughts to the body language. Another key adjustment is to become acutely aware of your body, of language, of your posture throughout the day. This is where the real gains come from. Every hour, do a quick check. Are you slouched over your phone or laptop? Are your shoulders rolled forward? Is your breathing shallow? Consciously be aware and do a reset. These small corrections compound over time and subtly shift how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Let's talk about how to use this in pressure situations. As an example, before a difficult conversation or a decision, take 60 to 120 seconds, a couple of minutes, privately, and focus on standing tall. Slow your breathing. Visualize the outcome you want. Make the visualization as detailed and vivid as possible. Again, maintaining that open, tall posture, spreading yourself out. This isn't pretending. It's about preparing your nervous system to respond instead of react. And how do we amplify the benefits of posture and being more open and more dominant? Posture alone isn't enough. Combine it with clear intent. What do you want from this situation? Self-talk. Your inner voice is so important. It's almost your inner coach. So use short, grounded cues like stay composed. You've got this, whatever works for you. And again, visualize. See yourself executing well. See yourself going through. Visualize in the finest detail as vividly as possible. And this is where you gain, to pardon the phrase, more bang for your buck. You're actually stacking physiological advantages. Now, the important thing to bear in mind is not to overdo it. And that is where some people go wrong. Confidence isn't about dominance. It's about appropriateness. In collaborative settings, overly expansive or aggressive postures can backfire. We've all been there in the meetings where you can quite clearly tell the person who's trying to exhibit their dominance, hands interlinked by their heads, exaggerating, feet on desk, that kind of thing. Instead, you need to aim for open body language, relaxed positioning, engaged eye contact. You want to project confidence and approachability. And also, timing matters. Do your posture work before the moment, not during it. You want to be, during the performance, focus on execution, not on how you're standing, but keep your posture open. Just be mindful that, especially when things aren't going so well, the tendency is to curl up into those protective poses. Be mindful of that and just keep the body language open, or the body open, but focus on execution and performance. Okay, let's start to wrap all this up. So in summary, power posing isn't a magic bullet. It won't replace preparation, it won't override skill, and it won't fix deeper confidence issues on its own. But it's a fast, accessible tool, a lever you can pull in real time. When combined with preparation, clarity, and repetition, it becomes part of a much more powerful system. Think of it like this. It's not an engine, but it can absolutely improve how the engine runs. Be upfront, honest, and transparent. I've used poses in my coaching on a regular basis, but it's part of a bigger package. It's not just the poses on their own. It's around preparation. It's around visualization. It's around physiology. And based on real world experience, it works. So here's your challenge from today's episode. Before your next high pressure moment, test it. 2 minutes. Reset your posture. Control your breathing. Step in with intent and observe the difference. Because confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build through consistent, small, deliberate actions. That's it for this shorter Wednesday edition of the Winning Edge Coach podcast. If you found this useful, share it with somebody who needs that extra edge right now. Remember to follow us wherever you get your podcast from. And as always, keep showing up, keep improving, and keep pushing your limits.